Good afternoon everyone, I'm KingBlackToof and I'd like to go over this GwentOpen deck. It's ProNEO Scoia'tael Shupe deck. Now, as a Shupe deck, it's very generic. We've seen it a lot before, but I wanted to go over it because I've been playing something very similar, so I have footage for it and it's quite useful to just go over it. I do want to go over other decks as well, but this will be an easy one to get into. Now, it's gotten me to rank 20. Which is very good. You know, I think that's probably the distance you will get. You probably won't get to rank 21 with this deck. And it's quite good at just placing good value down. There's a nice couple of counters in this. You've got a bit of damage, so you can get rid of some engines. You've got a Mardrum in this particular deck, so you can get rid of things like Osrel or eliminate a lot of the value from these high buff cards. Okay, the deck, I think, though, will struggle against a lot of engine related decks, so things like Great Swords and Consume. You haven't got ways to massively prevent them from playing them. You do have some removal, but not enough, and you don't, like Mardrum won't get rid of a Necker, for instance. So I think you'll struggle against those particular decks. Now, in the video you'll see, I use a deck very similar to this one. Two differences. I use the Dwarven Pyrotechnician, which is just great value. It's 14 strength if pulled from Barclay or Dwarven Agitator, a little bit more, but it does require a unit on each row, and sometimes that's not possible. If you play Barclay early, you might pull him by accident and then get really abysmal value. So ProNEO chose to put in the Doblathana Archer, which is going to be good for when you're trying to level for a Scorch. And that brings me to the other change, which is I use Shiru because he's just a good card, isn't he, really? But ProNEO chose to put Geralt Igni instead, and I can understand why he's done this. Shiru can be blocked by your own units if you're playing a particularly high Dwarven Skirmisher, for instance, whereas Geralt Igni won't be blocked. Okay, and I think Geralt Igni is there to actually help with the Great Sword matchup, for instance. You can try and level them and then scorch the Great Sword and the boat at the same time. So, this deck, obviously in your opening hand, you want to try and go for a lot more thinning because Shupe decks are pretty bad at thinning. So you'll be using the Alvin Mercenary with the Reconnaissance. Try and get some thinning. You'll be using Triss Telekinesis with Reconnaissance. Barclay Owls with Decoy or into Barclay Owls most likely. Get through your deck quite a little bit more so you can try and draw these golds later on if you don't draw them straight away. And that's, like, in your opening hand, you'd like to have Shupe or Hattori because you'll be using your leader card, Bruverhoog, for the other one. Preferably, it's nice to have Barclay Owls in your opening hand so that you can Bruverhoog Hattori whenever you want later. Okay, so next thing is we've got 4 special cards as well, and Yavin, asked by, is guaranteed to pull a unit and a special card for you to choose which one you want. So he's got a very high probability, a 1/4% chance to pull Shupe, and it'd be nice if you got rid of Reconnaissance first, got rid of Decoy, by using them, so that he's got a really high % chance to get Shupe. Now, there were some Shupe decks which only had Shupe, but I think they're less efficient. You're quite often guaranteed to get Shupe by just thinning your deck and drawing him, or using Yavin to actually get him as well. Next up, we've got the Sage. Now, because this deck uses Mardrum to counter things like Osrel and Giant Toads and things with a lot of buff, we can use it if we need to. And then you can reuse it with Sage if you need to, if they start placing more stuff like that, like the boats from Great Swords, for instance. But apart from that, he's got no targets, and this is where Vadermaker and Ida will be producing the Owl's Thunder to actually allow him to play an Owl's Thunder, which is the mistake I make in the game to come. I didn't play Owl's Thunder, I played Weather, and I got punished for that, so be aware of that. And that's generally the particular deck. Obviously, you'd like to try and get Elven Swordmaster as well as a Hawker support together, so it's worth more value. Again, going back to Great Swords being a difficult deck to play against, Aglaze is probably not very good against the Great Sword matchup because they don't play many special cards apart from Restore, which is not useful for you. So this is the deck. This is ProNEO Scoia'tael Shupe. Very average Shupe deck, quite normal. It's still nice to play. I'm going to show you a gameplay video now, and if you've got any questions, let me know. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow, I think. We tried. We failed. We should probably try and play a different deck, a deck that actually is Adhesive. Why Gwent today? Because I haven't played it in a while. I don't want people to forget that I play Gwent. I haven't got a Swordmaster, unfortunately.
Get a move on, lads. Look alive.
Forcing Gwent upon yourself. Well done. Oh. Anyone else think the third row will now be a column down the side?
Everything
No, nobody
right?
thinks that. Even if you think that, you don't.
Right, fine.
Even if you do, you don't. I'm just saying. You went first, so it's okay to pass.
You annoy me.
He's probably going to be hard to hit with Shiro because he's going to have a lot of low strength units, I think.
I never miss.
I'm not even really watching the Open for any reason other than just because, really. I'm only watching it for the end. I'm not really going to watch the rest.
Everything all right?
Eat Gwent, will ya? Get in there. Alright, you know, we'll play some, we'll see how we get along with it.
I never miss.
What's his game plan? What's he doing here exactly? I feel like he's doing something, but I'm not sure what it is. If I boost that, then that's 2 8s, and that's dangerous.
Now, how did that incantation go? Spally!
Alright.
Everything alright?
We'll see how that goes. He's swarming you with elves, soon he'll start swapping vanguards, and you should quite... Yeah, but if we make him use it... But it also doesn't... He would have done that by now, I think. But if he does do that, then it doesn't matter, because we went first anyway, and we were already behind, so it's just making him
Why
use
have
it
you
now.
summoned me?
Okay. He could have waited another turn for that. I essentially gained no value from that, really. Fortunately. I thought I should have done frost on these ones, but wouldn't have mattered anyway. I wonder whether it's worth decoying that. We lose 2 strength. But it's still pretty good play, I think.
I've got to get this stinking mess in order.
Over there.
Our brothers in the valleys need us!
The unplumbed dimension of delirium. That sounds like an awesome place to be. I'd love to go to the unplumbed dimension. That sounds terrible. Is Leak before or after Open? It's during the Gwent Open. I think just before the finals is when it's decided it's going to be happening. Alright, nice. He's got a Scorch now. I do have a high strength unit. I won't have card advantage unless I get my Shiro out, but if I do get my Shiro out, you can't Scorch. When I say Shiro, I mean Yavin. Then I'll get Last Say too. Okay. Well, he'll pass and I play that most likely.
Death to Old One!
What spells? I mean, I could steal that from him, and it banishes it too, so he can't use it himself. So if he plays a high unit on, if he does that, then there's no. All right, we still got a silver, right? No, we still got a dwarf though. Dwarven Skirmisher or Pyrotechnician. Both of them require investment, which is unfortunate.
Drink this, you'll feel better.
Pen Ikea. Ted Dayred is...
My, I'm actually impressed.
Yeah, are you really? I don't think you are. Pavel will pull out his sword. Yeah, that's probably relevant. I'll put that on there. Pavel or Luigi will get out a weapon.
Have strength, my
Because I think they've already pre-recorded it, so it's probably in that basement that CD Projekt Red.
Right, fine.
How many of those has he used? 1, 2. He may have one more.
The time of the white frost and white light is nigh.
Pavel will say the word leak. I think that's got to go on there. I think I'm going to be utterly disappointed by one change, and I'm going to be ecstatic about another change, whether that be UI. I think the UI I might go, whoa, and stuff, and that looks really good and stuff. But I think on something else, I don't know what, I'm going to say, I don't really like that, actually. And you can have both of those in the same stream, so I'm pretty happy. I'm not covering all my bases. I feel like that's what's going to happen.
Right head Sparley!
Oh, look, it's... Can he play a silver unit from your deck? So he can play Yavin, right?
Don't leave me here! Get a move on, lads! Look alive! Never had your kneecaps broken!
We're just playing some Gwent, it's called. It's called Gwent. What's he attacking? You can put that down to 8.
I
Yes.
never miss.
Right, we're going to have to go for Yavin, I think, somehow.
Good Gwent
Oh, this is fucking dangerous. Wow.
Bad. Very bad.
Den Verde.
A novice's misstep.
That worked out well. That's what I was aiming for. It was super dangerous before that. 3 8s. So what's happening? So obviously we've got the homecoming reveal a little bit on Sunday, and we're setting up a bingo card. This one, homecoming reveal bingo. So that anything that we think is going to happen goes on there. So I think I'm going to put on that Pavel's going to say the word leak. Pavel or Luigi are going to get a weapon out. Some I'm going to hate and some I'm going to love. And I'm not going to talk about middle ground. He just muzzled that, did he?
Swords I smile
How do I
at,
still not have card
weapons
advantage?
laugh
That's
to
silly.
scorn.
That sends that down to 8. Is not good enough for me. What part of the UK? The West Midlands. Oh, I don't know. Good. I have that too.
I respect nothing human.
The West Midlands I'm from.
Never had your kneecaps broken!
I think playing him now might be fine. He can't get his Scorch again. Unless he's got a glaze. 1, 2, 3.
What do you want?
Because then it guarantees him with the pirate ignition is going to hit everything I need. There you go. That was good. I enjoyed that. I like that.